Welcome to SVG TV News on Monday, November 14th, 2022. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. The shipment of 40,000 sacks or 2 million kilograms of urea fertilizer, which arrived in the States recently from Venezuela, are now being prepared for distribution to farmers across St. Vincent and the Grenadines, possibly from tomorrow, Tuesday, November 15th, 2022. This from Minister of Agriculture, Tobago Keys, who was speaking with the Agency for Public Information, the API, in a live Facebook broadcast during the offloading on Sunday at the Kingston port. Minister Caesar says about a year ago, SVG gave the commitment to partner with other CARICOM countries to reduce the regional food import bill by 25% by 2025, and he is determined to keep this commitment, noting that the urea will go a long way to help increase food production in SVG's thriving agriculture sector, which is experiencing a revolution.
And we will be increasing production and productivity as it relates to producing more food for the hospitality institutions in the country. Also, we are working to reduce our food import bill. We are setting up a platform for the exportation of very large quantities of dasheen, not only to the United States of America, but also to the United Kingdom. We are expanding in tree crop production. We are working to ensure that the traditional cultivators of cannabis, that they are integrated into overall production. Some are diversifying their production.
Noting that they have about a year to utilize 10 years worth of urea from Venezuela, Minister Caesar appeals to farmers across St. Vincent and the Grenadines to get their lands under cultivation so they can take full advantage of the fertilizer to expand production.
The conversation over the years that there are many farmers, many farm owners and persons or owners of lands that utilize these lands during the banana industry, the period of the banana industry. And we know when you drive around St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we see hundreds of acres of land just lying there. The land is well rested, and this is an excellent opportunity now that we have a significant contribution of urea, valued, I was advised, at approximately $6 million Eastern Caribbean dollars worth of urea here in our hands to expand production. Last week, I visited the farmers in Greg's, mainly the dasheen farmers, and they could not wait for this vessel to arrive. They are already digging their holes, they are looking for their slips. Similarly, when I visited Mr. Bacchus in Richland Park, they're ready to go with the expansion of production. So the idea is to utilize this urea. Of course, it is used in the very early stages of planting. Utilize this urea to more than double the production level that we have now in agriculture in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Minister Caesar says they have worked out a plan to get the urea closer to farmers across the country, with several storage sites already in place, and technicians from the Ministry of Agriculture have been divided into 3 groups for each region to ensure a smooth distribution and educate farmers on the proper usage of the urea.
And the technicians would be there at the distribution points to advise the farmers as to how to use the urea, and basically not to over apply urea to their crops. I know that some farmers will be tempted, even though their crops are not at the stage that they should be using the urea, to try it because of the quantities that we have. Please don't do that. At the end of the day, what we want to do is to increase production. And if you damage the crop, the persons in the marketplace, when they purchase the product, they are going to send back a negative report. This is a game changer, and generations to come will study this period. We are working with the Bureau of Standards. We are working also with Dr. Jean-Savi Cummins of the Medicinal Cannabis Authority to give technical advice. And
Caesar says the Ministry of Agriculture will go into overdrive mode for the next 6 months to ensure the urea are being utilized. Vendors plying their trade in front of the PH Varia building in capital Kingstown were asked to move over the weekend as a new management takes over operation. The vendors were reportedly given letters by the Kingstown Town Board notifying them that no more vending will be allowed on the sidewalk and in front of the building. Despite this order, some vendors returned to the area today to ply their trade, and they told SVG TV News that the notice given for them to move was too sudden and that they are extremely disappointed in the way they are being treated by the new management of the PH Varia building. They noted that they have been selling on the streets of Kingstown for years, as the Kingstown vegetable market had no space to accommodate them, and that members of the public hardly go inside the vegetable market to purchase goods.
Kind of feel bad because they just come and just give a letter. They never tell me where we have to move. They just come and to the building here, just here alone get letter. Nobody, they just come with the letter with the name on top of it, and nobody gets. So it's kind of hard for we just get a letter for just move on somewhere where we're accustomed to every day. We pay $5 every day for this spot. So it's kind of hard. No, we come here this morning for sell because they say they may want nobody up there, so we leave the sidewalk. We sell in here for safe. Well, if tongue bowl might run, we could sell it till after Christmas, you know. The market getting open just now, we have no problem going in the market. But we don't custom duty. They say we go left out here for sell till Christmas. So this is where everybody looking for make the dollar out here till Christmas. January, if the market available for going, we have no problem.
We feel sad. We feel sad because it's out here we just make $1. It's out here, people don't want to come inside and buy knowing. Same like Tokyo, you know? The shops and them not make no money. And the vendors and not make all. When you have to pay liquor license, they have to pay liquor license, water, electricity. You know what I mean? And vendors get all the money. Same like if you're in the money. Because people don't want to come in building and buy. On the street, they put $1,000 on the street. And then they could have left us until Christmas, at least. If they want to do something, and they left us until Christmas now, let me make a little change. Make a little change.
I'm a fish vendor, I sell fish. But what I'm saying now, in front of PH Varia, we always sell our fish, make a living outside, along with the other people them who sell the provision. And Saturday they come and give letters to say that you have to move, but that is not right. You notify the people and them, and then if they give us until January, then we know January we not have to sit down, we not have to come back here to sell. We will find somewhere else to go. But you don't give people letter now for now, and you have to move. We are talking right now, it's in the blazing sun. We in the blazing sun. If you look out, they in the blazing sun with the umbrella over my head, and I have my fish. I'm not afraid. Don't agree with this. This is not right. We are these poor people. We have children. We have family people. We have children to look after. Come on. We have to stand up for our rights. We have children. We're in the blazing sun. This cannot be right.
Wicked people. Because we're not taking up the street, they get the side road and they get the road. When we was up there, they complain and say, we must come down. Tongue board, they bring us down to the street. They still complain. What they want? We can't give them life. We have incentives. The government cannot employ everybody. If we go to the government, how much of us will get work? How much?
With a sign on the building, specifically on the entrance to the supermarket, reading absolutely no vending, it is stressed Elsa Jackson says she feels helpless about the situation, noting that she has been selling in the vicinity since 1992.
I feel getting very, very bad. Because since 1992, 92, I am in the market. And the first place I come to sell is right here. I make my living here. I make 5 children. I rail 4 of them underneath of my table as a crib. I send them to school. I send them to college and university. I did not go to a bank, neither a credit union to borrow any money. I sacrifice right here for me and my children there. And it's very hard now in the heart of Christmas. They just come Saturday and tell us we have to move and still charge us money. These are my receipts for Saturday. This one is $2. I have a counter inside of the market. And this one is $5. $7 I pay daily. And it's very hard now. I have 2 special needs children to take care of. The boy, he's graduated last year, and the girl is in special needs. I have one going to Kingston Anglican School. I have to meet our passage from Richland Park to Kingston every day. It's $40 for passing alone. I have to send them to. Where will I get that money?
Jackson, who was once vending in the Kingston market, says business there is very slow, and though she is uncertain about her next move, she remains hopeful for a positive outcome.
So you are okay with working from inside the market, or you prefer to be outside?
I rather to be outside. I used to be inside the market. No, sale is not inside. Every morning you come, you have to throw your stuff in the garbage. You have to throw your stuff in the garbage. Nobody come inside there and buy, so that's why we have to come to the street. So I am very, very, very depressed because they just come and tell us Saturday we have to move. They have to be more cautious with us. And then this is paid fair of building for 80 years. They did not run us, they did not give us any hard time. All they tell us, locate from up here to the street. So we want to know now, they now come and take over the whole of Kingston. How they will get the whole of Kingston? The whole of Kingston don't belongs to them. They are poor people rail up like all of us. Until when God help them to reach the part they reach there. I don't know. I don't know, but I have to sacrifice. I have to sacrifice. Because if they come and say we have to move, I have to still sell. Because I have my little girls then to send to school. I don't want my children then to come up where I want.
As government continues with its plans to clean up unregularized vending in the city, 2 new vending spaces in Kingston are scheduled to be opened this Thursday. The official opening ceremony for the vegetable markets uptown and downtown will take place at the old Queen's Warehouse opposite Sickle Graves from 9 a.m. In other news now, we hear that members of the media, along with staff from different government ministries, were taken on a tour to the Tobago Keys on Friday. The tour was organized by the Ministry of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture as part of activities to celebrate Tourism Month being observed under the theme, Tourism is everyone's business, live it, love it, embrace it. Members of the media sailed down to the Tobago Keys on the catamaran Emotions. The Tobago Keys are an archipelago located in the southern Grenadines, comprising 5 small islands and extensive coral reefs. The Keys, Petit Ramo, Petit Batu, Baradal, Petit Tabac, and James Bay are popular tourism sites, highlighting the difference between the islands. Park Ranger Benjamin Wilson shared with members of the media and others on board some of the important laws that govern the islands.
Island, that one in the back there, it's called James Bay, and this one, it's Petit Bateau. That's the main island where the barbecue and all that takes place mostly. The other island is called Petit Ramo. It's mainly called that because the goats were living on that one time. And that one in the far distance, it's called Piti Tabak. I'm not sure if any of you guys are familiar with the Pirates of the Caribbean. That's where, in part one, where the trees was lit afire, that's where all that took place. So that island is famous for that. So some rules and regulations of the park: there's no speeding, not allowed to leave your trash here. The yachties, they're not allowed to dump the sewage into the park, as in the toilet. You have to use your holding tank while you're here. The speed limit is 5 knots. And they also know when you go to snorkel, you don't allow to touch a coral or fish or anything like that. Everything here is natural, it stays like this, and we are trying to conserve it for future generations, and we'll like everyone that visit to play their part.
Wilson also noted that on entering the Keys, a fee of $10 per person is required.
Well, if you want to find information or you want to navigate, you can come to the rangers. If you have anything in particular that you have in mind or to do or anything, you can just ask us and we will just point you in whatever direction you want to go. Because most of the islands have trails to go on top, and they can also do a little hiking if you wish and go to the top. It's a beautiful view. I've actually been there like in 15 minutes ago. So it's lovely. And the rangers are friendly, so don't be afraid to ask questions. Or there's an entry fee of 10 EC per person. And also there's additional cost. If you take a mooring ball, it's additional cost of 45 EC. And that fee is for a 24-hour period.
All right.
If you come with a yacht, you can just dinghy and you go to the beach. In terms of the fees, the rangers will come next to the boat and find out how long you stay and ask you some questions. If it's your first time, they'll give you a brochure, and they'll also brief you on some of the rules and the regulation apart from giving you the brochure. So going to the beach there's no, you can go on any of the beaches, but most likely people go to the Piti Bato. That's where you get the barbecue and stuff. So most people go to that island first, and if they want to venture off and do anything else, then they go to the other island.
Remembrance Day, also known as Poppy Day or Amnestic Day, was observed here in SVG and around the world on Sunday, November 11, 2022. The day has been set aside to remember the men and women who gave their lives in the world wars to maintain world peace. As part of the commemoration activities here, wreaths were laid at a cenotaph in capital Kingston. The event was attended by Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Susan Duggan, government and opposition officials, representatives of the Diplomatic Corps, and other uniform organizations. St. Vincent and the Grenadines today joined the international community in commemorating World Diabetes Day 2022 under the theme Education to Protect Tomorrow. The day observed annually on November 14th is an opportunity to raise awareness about the impact of diabetes on the health of people. It also seeks to highlight the opportunities to strengthen the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of diabetes. This year, the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, says there is a need to strengthen access to quality education on diabetes, both for the health theme and for people living with diabetes, their caregivers, and society in general. PAHO is expected to present the panorama of diabetes in the Americas, a new technical report that integrates data from various sources on key indicators for the region, including mortality from diabetes, its prevalence, and national responses to the disease. The report is also expected to address critical issues of our time, such as the relationship between diabetes and COVID-19, diabetes in indigenous populations, and access to insulin 100 years after its discovery. Here at home, Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Sinclair Prince, has already indicated that they will be taking a focused approach in 2023 to tackle the rising cases and prevalence of diabetes and other non-communicable diseases in the country. At a recent sitting of Parliament and the launch of the Vinci Moves campaign, Minister Prince noted that NCDs are the leading cause of deaths in the country and are responsible for most amputations. He pointed out that for the period 2014 to 2016, there were a total of 170 amputations, 69 amputations below the knee and 101 above the knee. And the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment is preparing for the arrival of SVG's first ever MRI machine. On the radio on Sunday, Minister Sinclair Prince says the machine is expected to arrive in the state by year end and operational by January next year.
It's the first time we're going to have an MRI machine here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and people have been asking for it for years. We have had to go overseas for that particular service. Now we're going to have our own. And in addition, we'll have one at the acute care hospital at Adelsbay when that comes on stream also. But we're eagerly awaiting the arrival of this particular machine. It's going to cost a lot of money, about $2.5 million. It's already been bought and will be brought to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're putting up the platform at the compound of the Milton Cater, not Milton Cater, but the Modern Medical at Georgetown. We will put in the housing, and then the machine itself will arrive.
In terms of lab services, Minister Prince hailed the recent successes in this area, noting that they have completed the first of the 3-tier requirement to acquire accreditation.
We can now do PCR tests for TB and also test patients for the presence of drug resistance. Before that, this test had to be sent abroad to be done. Now we are doing it here now. I'd like to thank Mr. Elliott Samuel for his drive in this particular regard, and I would also like to thank Siobhan Stewart for what she is also doing with respect to the radiology services. These people who are running these different departments have been getting tremendous support from them and advice, of course, from them. Even as we move forward, just coming out of the pandemic. And I say we're coming out of it because that is what people are expecting, that we should be coming out of it now. I'm not saying that we're finished with it. We're not. We expect some spikes maybe here, overseas, wherever it is. But I hope that it is not as potent as it has been over the past 2 years we were talking about.
The health minister says he is also looking forward to the acute care hospital to be built at Annesville, which is part of the transformation of SVG's healthcare sector.
It's going to cost about $98 million per John Cecil, a lot of money. But of course, we are modernizing the system. And it is not just to build a building. We have to deal with other issues. The entire system is modernized and reviewed and reformed. So that we will be go up another notch, or a few more notches with respect to health service delivery here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So all of that, of course, there's more. We have been doing things in public health, things in community services, where we have been improving and expanding the services that we give in the health centers throughout the country. We have increased services with respect to gynecology and obstetrics, etc. in the clinics now. All right, we have been in ophthalmology, dentistry, etc. All of that we brought together while we were dealing with the parallel issue of COVID-19.
In some police news now, we hear that Tafika Sutton, a 27-year-old farmer of Georgetown, was arrested by officers attached to the Rapid Response Unit with 1 Glock 40 pistol and 16 rounds of .40 ammunition. The police say a party of RRU personnel were on mobile patrol duty about the Georgetown district when they observed the accused with a grey Gucci bag at a restaurant and bar in the area. The officers became suspicious and requested a search, which led to the discovery of the firearm and ammunition. Sutton was cautioned and later charged with possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition. He was expected to appear at the Serious Offences Court today.